welcome to Teachers Off Duty. If you've never joined us before, my name is Rebecca Rogers. I'm R. Rogers World on all social media.
I'm Lauren Woolley, Mrs. Woolley in 5th on all socials.
I am Bree Richardson, Honest Teacher Vibes on all social media. Follow my YouTube because it sucks.
You can introduce yourself this time.
Thank you. Yes. Barry White Jr., Barry White Jr., 2 underscores, all social medias.
So we're getting really close to the beginning of the school year, and we really want to shout out to first-year teachers who are both so excited, so nervous to get started for their first semester teaching. So we really want to dedicate this episode to you guys, give you a little bit of advice, and also share some really funny first-year teacher stories that people have sent in to us.
I got a good first-year teacher tip.
Go ahead.
When you don't have any teacher clothes, where can you go, Becca?
Teacher Style Box. You'll know that I'm like really bad. So, as we said last week, our next few episodes are sponsored by Teacher Style Box, and I seriously love this thing so much. Every time we get a box now, my husband makes a joke that he doesn't know whether it's going to be Amazon or Teacher Style Box, and both are problematic,
Amazon.
but it's fine. So, Teacher Style, running away from the mic again, Teacher Style Box is a rental clothing subscription service. Pretty much you go, they have new styles every single day that you can go and put in your virtual closet, and every single time it's ready, if you were to sign up today with our 30-day free trial with code Teachers Off Duty, you would look through all of the clothes, you would put whatever size, it's very size inclusive, in your virtual closet. And Teacher Style Box would pick 2 pieces of clothing from your closet and send it to you. You go, you wear it, and as soon as you're about to bring it back, you go on the website and you push Return Notified. And as soon as you push that button, they're going to get your next order situated. They're going to send it out so that by the time that you actually put, the Teacher Style Box, it comes with a little mailer in it that you put the clothes in. You just go put it in your mailbox, and as you send it out, your new one will come in, and it's amazing. It's $45 a month, and I love it. There are so many clothes in Teacher Style Box.
Lots
I couldn't
of different
even think.
brand choices
Lots
and
of
very size inclusive.
Yes, lots of
'Cause
clothes
I'm thicker than the Snickers, and they got stuff that fit me, so that's all I'm saying.
There are brands that I would never be able to just buy on a daily, like Ralph Lauren,
Loft,
like
Taylor.
Banana Republic.
very nice pieces of clothing, professional clothing, whether for teachers or administrators. Like they have an entire section of administrator bosses. Like
They even have,
awesome.
and for I don't mean to jump in, but for
No, go ahead.
us people who don't like to dress, super professionally, but still want to look cute, they have Casual Friday.
They do.
Hey.
They have so many options. I love it. I get 2 boxes a week
Now, we
because
do
I'm
not
obsessive.
have a men's line yet, but
Working
we're going
on
to use
it.
Barry as a model for the men's line.
I was over here co-signing everything. I was okay.
Bad man when we get it.
But it's really awesome. Again, if you want to try it out, see if it's right for you, $45 a month. We have a 30-day free trial, which, you can get 5 boxes in a month. That's 10 pieces of clothing just to see how you like them, if they fit you very well. With code Teachers Off Duty. Again, I use it all the time. My husband says we get more Teacher Style boxes than Amazon boxes.
And if you really
so.
love one of the pieces of clothing that you get, you can actually purchase it for up to 90% off discounts. And
That's
there's
amazing.
no real time limit as to how long you can keep an item. You can keep it for, a month, 2 months, a week, a day, and whatever you want.
There was a dress that I ordered because I thought I'm going to wear this to my brother's graduation. It's in a few weeks, but I'm going to do it. Did I forget it at my house? 100%. And that's just me and my personality. But the point is you can keep it for a little bit if you have an event you want to wear it to. And it's awesome.
Az gave me an idea.
Yeah.
You know what I'm going to do?
What you going to do?
Az gave me the perfect idea.
What you going to do?
I'm going to sponsor one for one of our new first-year teachers coming back. You know what? I might do that.
Okay,
I
like I
think-
said, Jordan,
I think
we're
that'd be a
moving.
good prize.
We're going to move to, where are you from?
Charlotte, North
We're moving to
Carolina.
Charlotte.
That is really sweet.
Moving
No,
to
seriously though,
Charlotte.
that's gonna
That's
be a
teaching
good
Barry's
prize.
school.
That'd be a good
Really
prize.
bringing
Put
Barry
it on
was
the
my
wheel.
plan to get y'all to move closer to me.
Okay,
Is
say
really
no
what it
more.
is.
Say no more. I ain't teaching them little kids because they be peeing on their shoelaces, but I teach the
They
big.
want you to tie him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
wet. No, you take you.
Why are they wet?
Why they wet? Take you and your little pee-pee shoelaces back over
I have
there.
never related to a question more in my life.
I am so happy to
shoelaces
say
wet?
I've never had to ask a student that question in my life. Shout out to the high schoolers that can tie their own
I
shoes.
hope to God you don't.
Oh. So every time you guys talk about like wet shoelaces and like things like that, I just think like, thank God I never did the little
middle
kid.
schoolers, we got time. Hey, man, don't lick that. We had to tell.
Don't lick that.
Why we had to tell one on? He was walking to the bus. He stopped and looked around, see if anybody was looking there. Lick the bus tire. Hey, bruh, why?
He did not.
Yes, he did.
Licked the bus
Why,
tire.
bruh? Why?
See, in high school, it's more like stop touching each other.
Wait,
like,
but question.
please stop touching each other.
For that kid, was it salty?
The bus tire.
I don't know about
What?
You get home and your tongue black. What happened to you? I licked the bus tire. Go to your room. Matter of fact, get out. Go outside. Go outside.
I can't with these kids.
Hey, but first year teachers, we
be
know
prepared to ask
that
these
your
questions.
first year of teaching is crazy. It is off. It can be crazy. It can be off the wall. My first piece of advice would be that if your school does not assign you a mentor teacher at the beginning of the year, you go and find one. Now, here's the thing about finding you a mentor teacher. Everybody's busy. The school year is crazy. It's going to take some fortitude and some initiative on your part to go and find a veteran teacher to help you. Wouldn't y'all say?
I agree entirely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, and it's okay. Here's another thing, too. It's okay to ask for help.
Listen,
Like my first year as a teacher, I there were things that I didn't know what they meant because I did an alternate route program. So, and I was a long-term sub before I became a first year teacher. So I feel like they kind of forgot about me because I was already in the building. But as a long-term sub, I didn't have to do the things I had to do when I became a teacher. And so I would literally like sit in staff meeting, like our ELA meetings, and there were some things that I'm like, I have no idea what that means, but I was scared to ask for, like, I was scared to say I don't know what that meant because I was afraid it would look like I didn't know how to do my job.
I totally relate to that because when I first started teaching, so I taught at an urban district that we had 4 second grade teachers. The 3 of us were all first year teachers, and then one was a veteran. So shout out to you, Rach, because you were the real MVP.
Yeah.
Like we leaned on her so much, and like, you know, I can't tell you how many times I went into her room crying during specials.
First year I'd be crying, man.
There's a lot of things, and we had this talk when we did our college episode. There's a lot of things that you don't learn in college that you have to learn on the job. And if you're not gonna, you know, ask all the questions, you're gonna stand there and be confused because you just don't learn those things.
That's super important. Then I'll just even add, and I want to speak directly to my males because you know when you come in as a male, they expect. It's a high expectation. Oh, yeah, you know what you're doing. Like, I know my first year in Jefferson, South Carolina, I came in fully clothed, suited. You know how it works.
Per usual.
That's per usual. Nah. Oh, by the way, the cologne's on now, so the vibe is here. Yeah. But no, I'm in Jefferson, South Carolina, and I came in. But again, because of, it's a male in the building. Oh, the excitement. I didn't want to feel as though I was letting anybody down, so I kind of stayed like, let me try to figure this out. But I was so much anxiety that first year that I did not have to go through. It was so unnecessary if I just went and asked for help.
Yeah.
And
I have to say, honestly, like, and you might have something to say about this as an administrator. My first year teaching, I feel like the administrators still had high expectations for the first, like the same expectations they would have for all the veteran teachers, which I understand, like that's the job you got hired for, but also provided little to no support on that. And like I would be at school, and I've told this before, I would be at school until like 9 o'clock at night just trying to get my life together. And I'm a very organized person, very type A, and I could not get home before like 8, 9 o'clock every night because of the expectations that were set by my administrators, and it was tough.
And early mornings too.
Can I tell you about...
Well, maybe not me because I'm not a morning person, but like I know there were people there.
Can I tell you about my experience of like getting ready for the year for my first year teaching? So in my county, there was a hiring freeze the entire summer right after I graduated.
They had a hiring freeze and they ain't got no teachers.
This was a few years ago, but like it was a whole thing.
Was it in Florida?
No, this was in North
North
Carolina.
Carolina, okay.
North Carolina.
And so there was a hiring freeze all summer, and it was like starting to lift right as the school year was about to start. So, all the people who just graduated are rushing to try and find some place to work. And so one of the schools that I was interested in working at reached out to me, and they're like, hey, we have a feeling that we're going to get a 10-day count teacher. And like for those of you that don't know what that is, the first 10 days of each semester, the schools document like how many kids they have show up to school. And that's where they determine numbers wise how many teachers they can have employed at a school. And if their enrollment is down, they have to let go of some teachers.
I'm
if it's
glad
higher
you
than
explained that
usual,
because I was sitting over here like, what? in
Yeah,
the
I was
oh,
like,
that
what
only
is
is thing
that?
in North Carolina?
No,
guess-
I think it should be universal.
I've just
I don't
never
know.
heard of that.
I don't
Okay.
know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a North Carolina
It
thing.
might be a
Do
North
that
Carolina.
But
instead.
thing.
so that's how, the number of teachers enrolled at a school is based off of enrollment numbers. And so the first 10 days really tells the schools how many teachers they're allowed to have at that school. And so they told me, we think we're going to get, like, enrollment is very high. We think we're going to get a 10-day count teacher. We'll keep you updated, but, like, we will keep you on the side. Don't go apply anywhere else. Or, like, because, we're counting on you.
Right.
So I didn't. Well, the day before school started, I got a call from the same school saying they had a teacher just quit, so they were just going to move me into that spot and find a different 10-day
school ain't even
teacher.
started yet.
Right. So when I got there, I went to the school the day before school started. I missed all the work days. I missed all of
Oh,
everything.
gosh. Oh.
And I asked, okay, what classes am I going to be teaching? And they said world history and world religions. And I said, okay, I didn't even know world religions was a class.
I was about to say they teach world religions in high school?
And it was I liked it, but
Yeah.
High school's
I
foreign to
said
us.
so.
Yeah.
They gave me the information for my PLT in world history. I was like, okay, where's the information for the other teachers teaching religions? There's not any.
So you had to come up with the curriculum.
And it was an elective, and we have this thing called CMAP where you can find like all the standards and lessons that can go with the standards.
Right.
But CMAP wasn't working.
Oh, my
So
gosh.
like if I clicked on anything for social studies, if I clicked on world history, it had geometry lessons. And if I clicked on world religions, it had
I would've
like
been toe up.
physics or something like that. So I literally, as a first-year teacher, on my first day of work, I literally just looked at my seniors and juniors and just asked, so what do you guys want to learn about this year?
Yeah, so
Hey.
I
I
was
had to-
wondering. What
Hey,
Literally,
hey, that's
right?
not bad. Getting student input.
Yeah.
Student
So I
buy-in,
had
right?
all the
Uh-huh.
kids go and write on the board the different cultures they were interested in learning about, and just looked at it and was like, all right, this is my roadmap.
Went-
and just
she,
went
she-
home.
she went up and
There you go.
accepted this. That movie. Do you remember that movie
Yeah.
Accepted?
I don't know if I've seen
Oh my
that.
gosh, it's hilarious. You need to watch it. It's a college movie about this
Yeah.
kid doesn't get accepted
Made up a
into,
school.
into college, and he made a school and like had the kids write on the board what classes they want, and they're like bumper stickers 101 and
Hey,
like
shout out to you though for being creative.
There you go.
and
Yeah.
willing to
Yeah.
jump
It was a
in.
lot of work.
Yeah.
It was a lot of work, and it was a lot, and I didn't know anyone that could help me, and
Yeah.
like Avery can tell you, I stayed up all night,
Yeah.
literally all night, figuring out what the heck I was going to teach for these curriculums. So we ended up with a unit on ancient mythologies, and then a unit on tribal culture.
You make your
and-
stuff like really interesting
Yes,
and fun
she
to
does.
learn.
Thank
yeah.
you. And then the next year, COVID hit, and I did the same thing all over again with virtual learning.
Yeah, hey, that's
I think
So-
all of us had to do that.
one thing, first year teachers, when you do get hired at a school, and I don't know if it's the same anywhere else, but like when I got hired at my first school, they showed me my classroom, and then they, typically when a teacher leaves, they take their stuff with them. But you always get those teachers that like leave everything behind.
Uh-huh.
And like so I already had been saving up stuff like in the summertime for my classroom. So I'm bringing all that stuff in, and there's literally like 10 boxes of junk sitting in the middle of my room. So not only did I have to go through someone else's junk,
Right,
but I
right,
still had to
right.
do my own junk.
Right.
And I'm like,
Uh-huh.
just prepare to be in that room for like the good 2-3 weeks before school starts.
Right.
Right.
And here's another piece of advice too, and we've talked about this on the podcast before. There's a lot of veteran teachers that get on to first year teachers for how much extra time they spend at school outside their
Yeah.
contracted hours. If you are a first year teacher, understand this. Learning to work your contracted hours is a learned skill. So if a veteran teacher is trying to make you feel bad, or a second year teacher or whoever trying to make you feel bad for spending extra time at school. I'm not advocating for working outside your contracted
Right.
hours, people. But
course
I'm just
not.
saying I didn't learn how to quit working outside of my contracted hours until my 4th year teaching, until
Right,
the beginning
right.
of this past school year. So it's a learned skill, and sometimes some people are like, well, just I don't take it home. I don't take it home at all.
Whatever gets done, gets done.
Whatever
Yeah.
gets
Right.
no.
Yeah,
Some teachers have anxiety. They can't do that, and I can't. I was always nervous that admin was going to come in for an observation the next day on the day that I decided I
Right.
ain't taking none of this stuff.
And-
home.
Well, there's
and,
also. Oh, go ahead, Barry. Go ahead.
And I was gonna say just to that point, and no, that's actually extremely important because those teachers that are, I won't say shaming, but now looking down on those long hours, they did it too.
They did it,
We
yeah.
all did it, and
Right.
then we learned to adapt. That,
Right.
oh, maybe the reason I don't have to stay long is because I already have this in place from
Right,
last
right,
year that
right,
I never
right,
took
right.
down.
Right.
Right.
I already have an idea of what I want to do next.
Right.
So,
I think veterans really, it's not that they forget, like it's just been a while since, they started from ground zero of having
Right.
nothing. And it does take a couple years for not only for you to build up the lesson plans, but for you to figure out what you like in your classroom management, how you like to do different lessons. Like it's going to take first year
Yeah.
teachers
Classroom
a
management.
few years to figure out what works for them.
Yeah.
I know I was changing stuff every single year until I kind of stumbled into like project-based learning and things like that, and doing like it took me 3 different years of changing every single semester for me to figure out how I like to teach these different units and what I liked and what worked for me.
Right.
And something that you should also remember is that what works for you might not work for
Right.
another teacher.
You
And what
don't
works
have
for
to-
another
yeah.
teacher
Can
might
I-
not work for
Can
you.
I jump piggyback off of that and
Yeah.
say, don't rely on Pinterest for everything, okay? Because Pinterest gonna make you feel real bad about yourself if you're not one of those like teachers that is gonna, DIY everything. I am
Hey,
not.
Pinterest got some good anchor charts.
No,
though.
no,
I ain't
no.
gonna
I'm
lie
not
to
saying
you.
anything
about the anchor
Shout out
charts.
to them anchor charts on
I'm
Pinterest.
saying like the classrooms, like the
charts.
pictures of classrooms on Pinterest,
It's a
and
lot.
then also
Right,
classroom
right.
management things from Pinterest. I can probably say I've tried probably like 20 different classroom management strategies from Pinterest, and now I look back on them and I'm just like, what the?
What's the Wong guy's name? Harry Wong. What's that book he got? First Days of School. You know what I'm
I
talking
don't
about?
know. I've never heard of that.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about. Though, yeah.
It's listen. I know people feel like this book doesn't work because it's after the pandemic. That's bull. It still works because it teaches you how to put systems and structures in place. I believe it's by Harry Wong, and it's called The First Days of School. My first year as a teacher, they gave that book to me. I ain't had time to read it, but they gave it to me. And like when I did actually have time to sit down and look at some of the stuff, there is some stuff in there that's outdated. But for a first year teacher, at least it gives you a little bit of a framework of where to start. Here's also what I'll say about classroom management. Y'all know I say this all the time. Somebody gonna get mad. I don't give 2 rusty nickels. If you're mad, put on a cape so you can be super mad. But sometimes your classroom management ain't got nothing to do with classroom management. Some of them kids bad. So it don't matter. Some stuff you can put it. Some stuff I said what I said, and I meant what I said. Some stuff you can put into place, but it's only so much that you can do.
100%.
You can
I
put
agree.
systems and structures in place. Some of them kids just bad. The people that's like it ain't no bad kids. Okay. Okay.
I think it's also important to remember, like, as a first year teacher, you're going to make mistakes. It's not going to be perfect. You're going to be newbie for like a while, and that's okay. Like I feel like I told this story in October, but I'm going to repeat it because
Go
it's
ahead,
always
best
good.
friend.
So I have a few first year teachers that sent me stories, or teachers that sent me stories about their first year teaching. And one of them, when you share rooms, there's always like a little teacher workroom that you go to during your planning period
That
so
guy.
that you're not you don't already know what I'm
I'm
talking
already
about.
laughing because that guy.
So during planning period, he was in the teacher workroom so that, the teacher he shared the room with was using it, and he was trying to charge his laptop. And he was just kind of looking at some of the outlets and saw one, unplugged some things that he could charge his laptop for the next class. And within 5 minutes, like someone comes running into the workroom freaking out. Apparently, he unplugged the router and turned off the entire
the Wi-Fi?
internet
Oh
to
my
the
gosh.
whole
Oh
school.
boy.
And it took like an hour to reset. So he just messed up everybody's day.
My boy just out here making
Okay,
mistakes
so
were made. Things
I
And
were
it's
said.
okay. It happens. You
like-
know?
Okay, going back off of the classroom management and stuff. So I'm going to tell you about the dumbest classroom management I ever used.
Oh,
and
God.
like,
Let's do it.
so I was trying to figure. I taught second grade my first year, and I was trying to figure out a system for like bathroom breaks because in second grade you don't want to be taking a whole class bathroom break all the time.
Right.
So
They'd be jumping
I
off
was
the
like, I got to
ceiling.
come up with something that's going to work for like the middle of a lesson. So in our room we had cubbies, and I was like, oh my gosh, I saw this thing on Pinterest. They just put like a little like a library card envelope from the back of a book like in the cubbies, and then in each little pocket you put 2 popsicle sticks that has like restroom AM and restroom PM, and each kid gets 2 bathroom breaks a day. And I was like, this is great. Then they'll know. And I was like, okay, kids, so when you want to use the bathroom, you just grab your popsicle stick. If it's the morning, you'll grab the blue one. If it's the afternoon, you grab the red one, and then you just come put it in the basket. Listen, my butt was there after school putting all those damn popsicle sticks back.
Yeah, you can think about that.
No,
Yep.
don't do it because it was stupid. And then the same thing with the sticker charts. I had a sticker chart for each kid, and I had to stay after school and put stickers all over the.
You
No,
gotta change it.
No.
no. Work
My-
smarter, not harder, friends.
My
no.
high school teacher had a battle axe as a bathroom pass, a green battle axe.
Battle
Oh
rap?
my
Yeah,
gosh.
it was like
Alright.
paper mache or whatever. But
I
it
was
was
about
cool.
to say
It was
things you would
giant.
never be able to do
if you
today.
stood it on the
Yeah,
floor,
No weapon.
Absolutely.
if you stood it on the floor, it was as big as me.
Oh my God.
It was so
I hate when
cool, and I
teachers
know
do that.
he
I
follows
don't wanna
me,
take
and
no
I know
big-
he's gonna see it, and I loved it. I thought it was
I don't want
so
to take no big
cool.
old thing to the
It was
bathroom with
gross.
me.
Like thinking back, it was probably really unsanitary.
Yeah.
But
Oh, I'm sure.
Peeing on that,
I
not
thought it
washing
was
their
Listen,
so
you know
daggone
how many
hands.
and bathroom passes too, and this is from an elementary
Bruh.
level. Like I don't even use bathroom passes anymore because those kids be dropping them in the
I'm about to say, that's
toilet
over
and
with.
like
Yeah, them
throwing them on the
bathroom
floor.
passes?
They're gross. So just anything the kids don't have to touch, like just.
Real rap.
you just reminded me of something another teacher sent me, and I think I told this one October too, but it's a good one.
I love that she remembers the month.
Listen.
It's older than
Memories
because
better
I
than mine.
Good memory.
I remember who, like, I don't know, but anyway. Anyways, so first year teacher during lunch goes to like use the staff bathroom, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there is a little sign on the door that says, you have to turn the lock a certain way or it'll get stuck. And he just forgot. So he goes to try and like leave the bathroom, and the door is completely stuck. So he has to call his department chair to say like, hey, I need someone to come unlock me out of the bathroom. No one's key works. His key doesn't work. The department chair's key doesn't work. Admin's
My
key
dude got
doesn't
locked in the
work.
bathroom.
They have to call the fire department to come
Oh,
take
The fire
Jesus.
department
to
came?
come take the door off.
I'm happy he
Of
ain't
the
dropped no deuce
hinges.
in there. They
They
stink
had
when
to-
they came in.
I'd be like, I'll just see myself
Agreed.
out.
Here's
Here's
dropping a deuce. Hey, man.
here's my badge. Here's my keys. I'll just see myself out.
They literally had to get someone to cover his classes for the rest of the day
Oh,
because it
that's
took
hard.
that
It's
long to get
embarrassing.
him out, and he was just sitting there in the bathroom all day. So whatever you do to mess up your first year teaching, you're not that guy.
I'm gonna be honest, that happened to me.
You got locked in
I'm
the
gonna be
bathroom?
honest, I hated it. And
Damn,
the
was that
place-
your story?
No.
No, but I know who it was. It was an old colleague of mine
No,
that
I'm
happened to
teasing.
me.
I'm sorry.
Disclaimer: I was a dean of students, not a vice principal at the time. It was last year, and where I got locked in was so terrible because it was right on the Connect Teacher Hall. Where's the elective special areas? So you got your arts, you got all of them in there. All of the ones that typically got a lot of grievances with administration for the bridging the gap. And boy, I tried to wait it out. So I was the quietest when I hear footsteps. I was so quiet. I turned my walkie off. I'm sitting there. I'm texting my custodian like, hey, I need you to come by. Just
let me
come
out.
by quick. They not responded, but I can't go on the walkie and say anything. So I
Free
waited
my
so
boy.
long. I
Listen,
waited so
everyone
long.
that day was probably like, where the heck is Barry? Like,
He's not answering. He's still like, I turned everything off. I said, I'm gonna wait this out until they go to cover recess, and then I'm gonna get somebody to
my
come help. It was bad. It was bad.
my first year teaching, like, okay, so the three of us were all brand new, so we were kind of sticking things out together, trying to help each other out. So the school I was at, we had to turn in formal lesson plans, and my lesson plans were like, no joke, I'm not exaggerating,
Yeah.
20 pages long.
That's crazy.
Oh, wow.
For a whole like week of lesson plans, just language arts and
You know they
math.
didn't read them.
Yeah. So we had to turn in those. Well, the first week of school that we had to actually turn them in, we all met up at Starbucks and we were like, okay, we'll write them together. It won't take us very long at all. We were there for 6 hours.
Them lesson plans. Yeah.
6 hours. And it's like, you know.
Like, are we in college again? What the heck?
You're trying to like, because when you're a first year teacher, like, I don't care what anyone says, any veteran teacher, but you're afraid to say anything as a first year teacher.
Sometimes
you're afraid to speak up or like, you know, ask for help from admin or, you know, if you're like lesson plans are due on Monday at 8 a.m. I'm not going to tell my boss, hey, my lesson plans aren't going to be done by 8 a.m. on Monday. Like, you know,
it's scary. Yeah.
You're
Scary.
afraid.
Let me say that to that point. You said, especially being afraid with admin. Here's a little tip, first year teachers as well. Like, because a lot of times that first year, you lose all your autonomy. You don't have no creativity because you're afraid to try this. You just want to do exactly what's in the book and that curriculum. But I'll say this, over the summer, as you're thinking about it, envision what you would like your classroom to look like. I'm talking about the best possible way, right? That whatever that looks like as far as student groups, independent learners, and then do this. When you come into those work days, right, after those work days get settled, go to your admin, your evaluator, supervisor. Hey, this is what I envision to look like. How can you help me get here?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
so
like
then
that
switches the idea of, okay, I got to make sure I checked off this box and list to now I'm actually getting that coaching support to help me get to the outcome desired, which is what I envision for my classroom. Because essentially you are the principal of your classroom.
Right. Mm-hmm. Here's another piece of advice that I have for first year teachers. It's okay to stand up for yourself. Mm-hmm. So you're not a child. Sometimes people, when first year teachers come in, people feel like they can, you know, talk down to you. And I'm not talking about admin. I'm just talking about like the school,
just
people
parents,
at the
kids,
school
admin,
in general.
everybody.
Don't let anybody talk down to you. You're not in college. You graduated from college. You got a degree. Some of y'all got multiple degrees, a master's degree. Y'all can run circles around some of these people that are trying to talk crazy to you. Do not let anybody bully you. It's okay to speak up for yourself, but also stay out of the gossip.
Yes.
If people are gossiping, you come in the teacher's lounge is automatically negative in there. They talking about other teachers. They talking about the kids. Stay out of there. Be careful what you say to somebody, because 9 times out of 10, whatever you say to them, they're gonna go and say to somebody else. So
it's gonna come back to you.
The drama is not worth it. Like there was a teacher at my school. She was so negative, like every day, like for no reason. And some of y'all be mad at admin as soon as they walk in the building. They ain't even done nothing to you. You see, as soon as you see admin, you mad at them. They ain't did nothing to you. All they said was good morning, and you mad at them. So with the drama and the gossip, like, stay away from those people, because you could be having a good day,
really, and
then they say something negative, bring your whole energy down. So this particular teacher, when I used to see her coming, man, I used to just dart the corner and turn into kind of like when I see my students in Kroger. I mean, I take out. She's a runner. She's a track star.
Look, but that's really important. You said that it will travel back.
It will. It permeates cultures.
You don't think about it, but you also have to remember, you know, you are the new person. Some of these people have been working with each other for 5 years,
and it's hard coming in as the new person.
And you might, you might hit it off with another teacher, great, and that's great. But you know, whatever you say to them is gonna get back to the people that they've been working with for multiple years. Like they have those bonds that you have not been there for.
And the older you get, the more you realize it's better to be a peacemaker than to cause drama.
Right. We're not in high school anymore. We're adults. So let's just stay out of the drama and the gossip.
Stay out the drama.
But one thing I really want to mention to first year teachers, because I went through this, and I've said this before. Don't worry about getting everything for your classroom the first year you teach. I probably spent $2,000, $3,000 on my own classroom, and I'm not exaggerating in that, because I was stupid, and I was like, I wanted my classroom to be one of those like Pinterest classrooms, and Instagram teacher classroom,
pleasing.
And I wanted it to be cute, beautiful, and cute. So like I went out and I would, if I'd see something at Target or at Michael's or whatever, I'd just buy it.
Man,
and
she's shopping at expensive stores. Target and Michael's.
But what I'm going to say is, so at the school I went to, like they didn't really give us, like they gave you a classroom library. For elementary school, you have like a class library that kids can get books from. And they didn't really have much. So you're really expected to provide it yourself.
Right.
And so, garage sales are crazy. Like teacher garage sales happen all the time. They will advertise them in the newspaper. And you can go hit those up, and they'll have all kinds of like veteran teachers that are trying to sell their old stuff from retirement. Even on Facebook Marketplace, like I got a lot, like when I moved to 5th grade and all of my elementary books couldn't use them because 5th graders read chapter books. I was able to get a lot of books off Facebook Marketplace real cheap. And I hate, even saying, that it's your responsibility, because it's really not, but we know how education is.
You know how it is.
Yeah.
But also to that, make the custodians your best friend.
Yes.
Because they would
They're
know the spots.
amazing.
They would know the equipment, the warehouses everywhere that's
They
open,
put
the
that
empty
stuff
classrooms.
together.
And they'll hook you up.
Hey,
They
and
will
on
hook
that
you
same
up.
on that same note, the secretary, the cafeteria lady, the custodians,
Yep.
any of those people, you better be kind to them, because I can guarantee you 100% you're gonna need them before they need you.
Yeah.
There was a girl that was rude to our maintenance man, and her air conditioner broke, and like he wasn't making no haste to get to her classroom to fix it because she was trying to talk down to him. I'm like, don't.
Yeah,
My mom
no.
taught me, people that feed you and people who take care of you, don't ever be disrespectful to them. You treat
100%
those
from the
people
top
with
to the bottom.
100%
Yeah.
kindness.
Yeah.
It's like
No
those
matter who.
doctors that try to talk crazy to the nurses. Like, do not talk crazy to
Right,
the nurses.
like, right. I know these
No
charts better than you.
no school is gonna run without all of the people who work inside
Exactly.
of
There
it.
you go.
Exactly.
So
Everybody.
you need to make sure that you're being respectful to all of them, and they'll have your back when you need it.
Right. Side note, though, I heard from a lot of teachers ever since I started sharing those teacher stories. I know y'all be judging me because I say something about them teacher stories every episode. Follow my YouTube. But
Plug.
the teacher stories, the amount of nurses that are in my comments saying that teachers and nurses get treated very
exact same
similar.
way.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to have a nurse on the
My
the
mom is a
podcast.
nurse.
Well, tell your mama to come
Yeah.
on, because I feel like we need to have.
Susan.
I feel like my sister's a nurse, and I feel
My
like we
mom's
need
a
to
nurse.
have a nurse, because they said that they are like
Yeah.
treated very
Yeah.
similar to
They
how
really
teachers
are.
are
I'm just saying,
treated.
and to your point earlier, though, for us, I know our MVP and we champion this person was our school nurse, especially in elementary
Oh,
school.
man.
Yes.
Think of how many radio calls come from recess,
Vomit.
or just in general. Oh, I just need you to come check out. His head's down. He's coughed a free time. Our nurse is
running around that
phenomenal.
school.
They are
That
the
is
MVPs in the school. Like the school nurses, shout out to you all.
Absolutely.
100%.
Y'all
Yeah.
deal with a lot of stuff.
Especially in the last 2 years. Like, I'm not gonna lie, our school nurse is amazing, and
Ours
she
was
really
too.
was like our leader during the pandemic, and like trying to figure out
That's great.
how to handle COVID. She was on top of it, and she would be in meetings with like the county members and like the health board and everything, trying to keep everyone safe. So shout out to you,
'Cause they
Mrs.
had
S. You
Absolutely.
know who you are.
Those school nurses had to adapt just like teachers
Woo.
did. Stuff that they
Yes.
wouldn't,
Fast,
Yeah.
stuff
too.
that they didn't
Absolutely.
normally have
Right.
to do. Like our school nurse, like she had to. It was one of the classrooms. They turned it into. It looked like the hospital ER triage
Yeah,
in there.
we had
they
one of
had
those.
like
Wow.
curtains set up so kids, if they were sick, they wouldn't be around other kids. And I mean, she really like she'll be running around that school, and she was the sweetest
I'm telling
lady
you,
ever. Like,
Sweetest.
she was a
It's
kind
kindest.
person.
But overall, like for first year teachers, just know that it's not going to be an easy year.
No.
Like
Right.
it's going to be really tough, and
Yes.
it's gonna at times you're gonna hate it. I'm not gonna sugarcoat
Being
it for you
100
because
with you.
Very true.
it's very, very difficult to come into a
Right.
career thinking that you know everything you're supposed to know,
Man,
and then
well,
you get
yeah.
flipped on your side and you know
Exactly.
nothing. So
Yeah.
there's just take it with a grain of salt. Everything that happens, everything is a learning experience that first year, and just try to make the best of it and know that it's going to get better.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then let me just real quick
no, you're good.
say
Go
for
ahead.
that. And then everything's a learning experience in your 20th year, in your 21st
Exactly.
year. Think about right
Exactly.
now, people that are teaching 15, 20 years. This is new.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is new for them.
Yeah.
This ain't the same as it was back then.
Right, it's
so
true.
again, everything's experience, take it quarter by quarter.
Yeah.
Quarter by quarter.
And one more tip that I would really urge to first year teachers, because emailing with parents, especially disgruntled parents, is a very learned skill, and it takes a while to really figure out like the best way to communicate with them. And if you are like me and you get very upset when parents talk crazy to you, have another colleague who's been there for a while read your emails before you send them, because I cannot tell you how many times my teacher bestie has looked at me. He's like, you cannot bully the parents like this.
And
I'm
I'm
like,
like,
Yeah.
okay,
and it's okay to pass things off to admin too.
Yes,
Sometimes if a parent gets super disrespectful, it's okay to say,
make
you
it
know
their
what?
problem.
Yeah, but I mean, not necessarily their problem, but pass it off to, hey, I feel like, our communication, I would feel better if my admin was in, on this particular communication. Also, another tip for first year teachers, do not, under any circumstances, judge your entire teaching career based off of your first year teaching.
Not at all.
Oh, God, I'd be an awful teacher if I
Don't
judged off that
don't
first
do
year.
it. Don't do it.
Oh, my God. Like,
Don't do it.
And I've said that in previous episodes, too. The teacher I was year 1 and 2, and even 3, years 1, 2, and 3, and the teacher I am now are 2 different people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, entirely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I'm still changing things and still making, decisions in my classroom and still making, changes. But it's just like, I'm glad you said that. It is a learning experience your entire career. It's not, you're never going to be like, I'm 100% good. I know everything. And
never.
If you are, then you're never going to grow.
Right.
And
You should always be learning.
And don't be afraid or underestimate the power of the phone call. Because a lot of times in those emails, remember, print can get interpreted any type of way depending on how you feeling that day. So if I'm upset already at something else and I read this email from this parent, then I'm already on a level 10, so I'm going to take it as level 10.
Right.
A lot of times, like you said, they got passed off to me, and then the phone calls, hey, and the tone was totally different than what I expected.
Right.
Because I read it in a way that I perceived it versus how they meant to their intent.
Even going off of that, one more, I know I said one more before, it's okay. One more tip that I would give first year teachers is don't be afraid to make a phone call to a parent for good news also. And that really can change an entire perspective of the school year or the semester or whatever. Like if someone does something good, or if they, if they've been struggling and then all of a sudden they make an A on something, those small celebrations take 5 minutes of your time, whether it's a phone call or an email, just celebrating with the parents.
Right. And I'm going to say
awesome.
this, and it's controversial a little bit. People get mad when I say this, but first year teachers, you do not have to grade everything. Okay.
Oh, why is that controversial?
Because
there's
people. I've said that before, and there's people in the comments that are like, if you make the student do the work, then you shouldn't be wasting the student's time if you ain't gonna grade it. Okay, listen, Susan.
It's called
be
a
quiet.
formative assessment.
Right. So it's okay.
Practice.
It's okay for the kids to This is another piece of advice too. It's okay for your kids to productively struggle. There are kids that there's no way that they will learn if every time they call your name, every single time they can't get through a couple of minutes of the assignment. It's okay for them to productively struggle. You can let them struggle through the assignment, because how are they going to learn? If you've taught your large group lesson and then you've moved to small group instruction and it's not their turn to either be pulled for small group instruction or you're not doing small group instruction that particular day, let those kids productively struggle, because that will help them learn. This was another piece of advice that was given to me. Some of your kids, they're not going to get it. They don't know how to do it. Like I looked at my principal one day, and she was she was my ELA principal. She was phenomenal. And I looked at her one day and I was like, man, like we took the Case 21 narrative writing test and he wrote one sentence. And I was like, I know I taught him more than that. And she looked at me and she said, Miss Richardson, sometimes you have kids, that's all they can do. They don't get it. That's what they can do. So you don't have to grade everything. Let your kids productively struggle and recognize where each one of your students.
Because to that point, it's different types of grading and assessments, right?
Right.
You got your informal, formal, formats, all that stuff. So you don't necessarily have to be that you sit down and grade A to Z. You remember A to Z?
Right.
You don't have to do it all the time. Sometimes it's just the odd test too.
Right. But don't tell your kids you ain't gonna grade it, because they better think you grading everything. And it's also a little thing called File 13. If you don't know what that is, it's a trash can. So, you can file 13 some of them assignments, and it's okay. But as long as your kids, because some of your kids, they are getting practice. Everything is not for a grade. But sometimes, a lot of times, kids are lazy and they're not going to try if they know you're not going to grade it. So don't tell them you ain't going to grade it. And then this is my last tip. sometimes you have those kids in your class that will sit there and they won't do anything. Like they'll just kind of stare off into space, and they might need a little bit of motivation. So when in middle school, when they take the state test and they take Case 21, it's timed. So in the beginning, that first 9 weeks, I don't time them on stuff. The second, third, and fourth 9 weeks, I've given you time to kind of learn how things go. You need to know you ain't gonna have an infinite amount of time to do things. So I let them know, hey, in 5 minutes, I'm coming around to check. Because some of your kids, otherwise, they'll just sit there and they don't have anything written on their paper.
Accountability, keep everybody accountable.
Yeah, I'm like, it doesn't take smarts to try. You can at least try. Because some of the kids, like, they won't even try. And I'm like, it's even if you don't understand, you can at least put some effort forward and try something, even if it's wrong.
Right.
So.
Well, on that note, I think that that's a great place to end it. And we just hope that you guys have a great school year. And first year teachers, if you need some support, assistance, please reach out. Yeah, reach out. Send us an email, send us a message on Instagram, wherever you want to reach out to us. And we would love to incorporate that into some future episodes to try to help you through the school year.
Absolutely.
Make sure you check out Teacher Style Box, get your first 30 days free trial. And also, we have our merch shop up and running, so go to shop.boardteachers.com to pick up some of these cool t-shirts that we've been wearing in our episodes, and you can have some closet choices for the school year.
Okay.
I love a good teacher tee and jeans.
I do
You're
like
supposed
those.
to say cute, like how James said the other day.
Okay, and you need to get Teacher Style Box because there are tons of like cute boutique styles.
Our boss is like the manliest man ever,
And that's how
on
he
our
said
call
that.
the other day, he was
Boutique
like,
styles.
It's like cute boutique styles. I'm like,
But just remember the
what?
discount code for that 30-day trial is Teachers Off Duty. We, get some Teacher Style Box. Tag us. Like, we would love to see you guys enjoying Teacher Style Box. Like, we want you to enjoy. Like, it's for your benefit.
Fellas, it's coming soon, fellas.
Miz is coming soon. All right, love y'all.
Bye.
Bye.